The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show, brought to you in association with Michael.
Levi Solicitors.
There you go, he's ready, he's on the ball.
Oof.
So high energy at the end of this season, aren't you?
10% discount on your legal fees for personal and business law. There's 15% off on
Will's probate conveyancing.
wills, probate and conveyancing. What are wills?
Writing down where your stuff goes when you die.
Probate,
Sorting all that out.
when they open it and read it, isn't
That's
it?
when someone reads it, yeah.
And conveyancing, the bit in between,
That's when you're buying your house,
you're
isn't it?
moving your house. There you go, loads of stuff. 15% discount on the Phil Hay Monday Club. Have a look at that in your YouTube feed, your audio feed as well. Have a listen, and you'll find the discount code in there for that additional discount. We do part 3 of the show now, and we do Heroes and Villains, and first the Ken Bates Villain of the Week award. We've kind of shelved the petty grievances. It's gone beyond that into just outright fury now, hasn't it? There are no petty grievances within this subdivision. It's all just genuine candidates.
Yeah, I think so. There's, I'm trying to think. I mean, new players, that's slightly petty, I suppose. Marco nominates them for making us believe they were half decent when we first signed them. Voba, Brendan, Rasmus the Terrible, Rocker, etc. Is that sort of petty, or is it?
There's some pettiness in this nomination for Allardyce in saying that it might be our last chance to give him it. Which I do quite like that as a rationale.
We can give him it next week.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh no, to be fair, it's going to be all on the board and stuff next week. So maybe that's what we do. Allardyce for making us believe, because the board have got nominations, and I want to particularly pick out Big Sam naked in a tub of beans for this nomination. Just not necessarily because it's Victor Orta that gets mentioned, but just because of the name of the person who sent it in. But yeah, maybe this is it. It's Allardyce for making us believe, making us think we were going to get out of it, and then that happened. It's probably not his fault, but still.
He's probably not going to win a game, though, is he?
No.
Having come in to save us.
Still, 500 grand for 4 weeks' work. I don't blame him for saying yes.
Oh,
at all.
God, no.
I would do it
Would you?
if you want to pay me
Yeah.
for the next month.
How much?
Just a cool $500,000.
With the $2.5 million bonus dangled as well.
What are you going to incentivise me to do? What do I have to do in the next 4 weeks to get my $2.5 million?
I'd like you to run the 100 metres in under 10 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
I thought you said I'd like you to run the 92 miles in a day.
That too.
Do that easy.
Kevin Sinfield would. It's lazy if you don't.
Right. What are we doing with this then? I mean, there's a nomination for everyone, which I think feeds into boardroom players.
It's a good point, is this, from Billy B. He just says, this is post-West Ham, said the relief is actually palpable tonight. It's finally over and we can stop worrying about it. Everyone associated with the last 2 years needs to get in the bin. Nobody has credit, not the players, none of the managers, and certainly not the board. Major reset and new ideas are required.
Do you want to give it to everyone?
I mean, we easily could.
We're kind of preempting next week here, aren't we?
Although I do like Wisconsin Todd's nomination for Crying Children, preempting the game on Sunday, because there'll be television shots of children crying at being relegated. And Wisconsin Todd says, so quit your crying, kid, and channel your emotion into action the right way. 2 fingers up to the director's box, have at 'em. Which was like after the Milan derby? There was that crying Milan fan walking out the ground and his dad walking with him, and he sort of had a word in his ear. He's like, no, you got to do this properly. And they just turned around and gave a finger to the away end, which is nice.
Maybe we need to make all the kids animals for this one. We need to arrest any that carry signs asking for shirts.
Yeah, it's not the time or place.
And under threat of something, ask them not to cry. Tough it out.
Mm-hmm.
Repress your emotions. That's what it's all about. Encouraging that.
I mean, we had the little spell of kids running on the pitch, didn't we?
Yeah.
Which they had to obviously clamp down on. What you never saw in any of those occasions was a kid running on the pitch and punching anyone in the bollocks.
Yeah.
So I think that's an option.
Yeah.
Like they're going up for a hug.
Players just taking off his shirt. Oh, bloody kids here for shirt. Boom!
Just as he got it over his head.
Right in the baby maker.
Have that, Mark Rocker. Now fuck off.
Do you think Mark Rocker could outrun a child?
Oh, I don't know. It'd be good to see Brendan out muscled by one. 5-year-old kid sends him to the ground.
Goes down under a shoulder charge. Bless him. Oh, bless him. Have you been following Brendan this week, by the way? Him and his girlfriend.
Down, it upsets me too much.
I said we need to introduce this as a regular segment on the podcast, because you've been following their life very closely.
Well,
and it's great just hearing the bitterness of a nearly 40-year-old man looking at young people who are in love and obsessed with each other.
It's pathetic.
What have they been doing this week?
Just taking pictures of themselves fucking everywhere. Just a good picture.
Not fucking everywhere. But
No, going everywhere. If there was that, fair play. There was a video of today of her going through a temporary traffic light, and I just thought, we're doing this for? And I wonder if she was driving, actually, I might report her.
just upload the footage from your dash cam.
Just absolutely grass her up for using her phone while driving.
Can't wait for you to find out the route they drive past. And the next one's just her going through some temporary traffic lights with you going like that.
Oh God. Put your phone down.
Oh, dear me.
I mean, the Premier League does get a nomination as well, which I think is probably fair enough, just for being a shit competition that Man City always wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's not very interesting, is it?
It's not. No, it's not. Because I saw them lift the trophy this week. I can't remember being like a kid, like in the 90s and stuff, because, and maybe even like, late 90s, early 2000s when we were good. And you thought, we've got a chance of genuinely disrupting this. We've got a chance of being in among this. Maybe we could knock them off their perch. Now you look at it, there's absolutely no chance of it. And I felt nothing when Man City lifted the title. I used to get angry.
It's because it means nothing, because they've done it all by cheating.
That's why I used to like see Man United lift the title, and I hated it. It burned at my very soul. And this, I just go, oh, whatever.
Yeah, same like when...
I don't know if that's just me getting older or the change in football or a combination of the two.
Yeah, like late 90s when Wenger came in at Arsenal, they started winning it. We were admittedly, we were never in a title race properly, were we, at the end? But I know I quite liked to see Arsenal winning it. And it was like, oh, it's good. It's interesting that someone else has won it. Then Chelsea arrived with all the money, and it was kind of interesting to see how that worked for a bit. It's just boring now.
Yeah.
They just seem so far ahead. I know things change, and maybe the Liverpool buy some players and have a proper go at it again next year.
Yeah,
but
eventually Guardiola leaves.
But the bar is just so ridiculously high at the moment, isn't it? That you just think, well, there's not going to be a title race. This year was built up as a title race, and then it was all over with 3 games to go.
Yeah, and it did finish with a bit of a whimper, didn't it?
And the relegation's pretty much done with. Champions League spots are done with. There's just fuck all to play for on the last day, more or less. There's going to be a big attempt to make it like the relegation battle the story. But it ain't that exciting.
Well, live on BT Sport, it'll be Jake's farewell, won't it?
Superb. Is he on the national curriculum yet, as he was requesting?
I don't know.
During the week. Did you see that story? Wouldn't put an hour of it on the an hour of it on the national curriculum. If he donates to the Tories, he'd probably get it on there.
Yeah, good point. Are we giving this to the Premier League? Are we giving this to everyone? What are we doing? What are you feeling? I'm feeling apathy at the minute.
Phil Hay got one.
Oh, right.
Tom for predicting us to stay up, which he didn't actually say.
No, I just threw him under the bus.
You just hinted at it, didn't you?
Yeah.
He never wants to hear another prediction from him unless it's a negative one.
Right. Go on then.
I'd maybe go everyone. I think Billy B's right when he just says the relief is palpable. And I think that's certainly how I felt after West Ham.
Yeah, I expected to feel terrible, but actually I felt a weight had been lifted. It was like, okay, all done then. All lovely. Lovely and dead for the year.
You can all have it. You can fight over the scraps of this season. Knobheads. Player of the year and player of the match. I don't even care about this. Mark Rocker finished bottom, 1.41 out of 10. This is our TSB Plus members who've scored the players. We thought this might be quite scientific, and it's just quietly gone like that. The graph just trending downwards. Rodrigo got player of the match, 5.7 out of 10.
Did a goal, didn't he?
Yeah, Forshaw and Harrison, the two beneath that. Robles, Ayling, referee, 4 out of 10, whatever.
I mean, the bottom of the list is essentially just people who tried to play in the middle of the pitch and failed. It was Rocker, Aronson, Greenwood, McKennie. They were your bottom 4.
Tyler Adams maintains his place at the top of the Player of the Year rankings just by being injured still, 6.73 out of 10.
Dan James moved into second last week. This week has seen Matthijs Klick move into third. So, so 3
absentee players.
3 players who have not played for us in quite a long time are in the top 3.
An injured midfielder and 2 players who don't play for Leeds United.
I mean, for God's sake, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In 7th place is Sonny Perkins, for God's sake.
It's a good season. Came on that. Scored that goal at Cardiff, didn't he?
Yeah.
That was good. Bottom of the list.
I mean, Matteo Joseph's done a bit. He's in bad company there. I feel
does seem a bit harsh.
Him,
But the January business not been a great success because at the bottom of the list, Weston McKennie, Jorginho Ruter.
Yeah. And then, well, let's not be mean about the people who are near the bottom. I'm just not in the mood for it. So, well done. It's going to be Tyler Adams, isn't it?
I mean, it is Tyler Adams.
Yeah.
I think it would have to be someone who's not played at all this season, comes on and achieves a score higher than 6.7.
I mean, we could totally gerrymander this and just give it to whoever we want, really.
We have had contact from someone who knows how to do statistical stuff, doing a PhD or something, I believe.
It's in a really fancy subject as well, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Like nuclear physics or whatever.
We're going to, some show-off subject.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well done.
Oh, wow, I can do loads of maths. Brilliant. Well done.
I can fire rockets into space. Brilliant.
But no, he did say he'd
Well, we sit here every week and talk about football. You try it.
He'd take a look at the data and try and get some sort of sense out of it, because it doesn't feel like Dan James has necessarily deserved the second place.
But all of those that are in the top, well, the Dan James and Matt Click especially, just by virtue of not being here, feel like they deserve to be rewarded somehow.
I quite like it. I think it's a really fitting way to sum up the season if Dan James is our second best player, having played in August.
That assist that he got against Chelsea was nice. When he chipped it in, do you remember? Do you remember that all way back when the sun was out?
I can't remember.
He broke down the left and got to, I think, the byline, turned back onto his right foot and just chipped it into whichever loser scored. Right, let's do the Gaetano Berardi Hero of the Week award. Got any candidates?
That feels worth it, does it?
The 21s, it's got to be for me, for getting promoted.
They went up, didn't they?
Yeah.
I suppose.
Yeah, Tom does say no one associated with the first team is capable of anything in the least bit heroic.
And they looked like, and you'll back me up on this, Rob, they were just having a jolly nice time when they played against Forest. And they were enjoying it on the pitch afterwards, which is a stark contrast to what's going to happen on Sunday.
They have been the most enjoyable thing about Leeds this season. Like I said, just watching players have fun is really refreshing. And it's something we've not seen for years now.
Any other runners and riders besides the 21s? We've got Jackie, Rodrigo, Sam Allardyce.
Sam Allardyce, Yorkie Dave nominates him for being the first manager to lose his shit with the players.
Delivering some truth bombs.
So I think that's something.
Irish and Tired suggests Stuart Dallas for never having a bad match this season. Fair point. Non-Leeds candidates, we got West Ham for putting us out of our misery.
Yeah, Bowen putting out of our misery, and then Baz of Sandal says Declan Rice for his example of running, passing and tackling, which is a thing midfielders can do.
They can do that.
Yeah, can do all
Pass
three.
to each other.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Forwards, backwards, sideways, anything.
Diagonally?
He scored as well, didn't he, Declan Rice? You can do that if you're a midfielder too.
Can you?
I know Rocker and McKennie have tried not to, but yeah, it is a possible option for you.
Fair play. And congratulations to Tom as well, who is nominating his wife. I mean, I'm not sure what she's done for Leeds United this week, but going to be a dad for the first time is Tom.
Found out after the Bournemouth game. They just say can't wait for them to inherit the perpetual trauma of being a Leeds fan.
Just frame it correctly, yeah.
I really hope he found out after we'd been beat by Bournemouth and he's like, not now. Look, I'm just fed up, all right?
Comes in. Amazing news. Oh, God, what is it? Have you got COVID? It was a pregnancy test. Oh, okay. Oh, good, I suppose.
There speaketh the father of twins, right? The 21s, Heroes of the Week.
I suppose so. I mean, on Declan Rice, actually, Jack also nominates Leeds United Football Club, saying it was nice of us to show up for Declan Rice's testimonial, let him get the goals and do some little tricks as well.
Yeah.
Which is a nice echo of when we did that to Wes Hoolahan, wasn't it? That was the end of Heckingbottom's reign, when we just let him have a game of them applauding him on, letting him score. Just had a lovely time at our expense.
So we're nice and generous in that respect.
Very much so.
Yeah. Is it the 21s then, yeah?
I think so, yeah. Jackie does get a couple of nominations because he just always works hard. He's not one of the players that looks like he doesn't give a shit. And I enjoy watching him play at least. Which is a shame because he'll be playing for someone else next season.
And I suspect he is quite broken at the moment because of the fact that he keeps playing pretty well and then being taken off on the hour mark because I guess his thighs will explode or something if he goes beyond that.
Those beautiful bloody thighs. He'll be looking after them all summer anyway. Robin Koch does get a mention for being spotted in, is it in Misbehaving Well Bathing's Aldi?
No, he doesn't. He describes him as Aldi Calvin.
Oh, right.
He's what he says.
Oh, I read that was in our Aldi, but no, it's the Aldi Calvin.
No, it was our Aldi Calvin today, pinging passes out to the wings and getting stuck in defensively.
There's nothing wrong with Aldi.
You're right, it's good.
I'm a big fan. Hello to Shipley Aldi, by the way. Person recognised me on the checkouts. It's nice.
Poncio. I quite like the one at Junction 32 as well.
Right.
It's come off the motorway, it's quite handy. It's a bigger one.
I split my time between Yeadon, Idle, and the other one, Shipley.
Oh, yeah.
Depends where I am, yeah.
Ever go Lidl?
Occasionally, there's one nearby, but I've always been a big. I'm kind of one of the Aldi ultras, to be honest.
Yeah, get the bakery though at Lidl.
That's true.
It's not overlook that.
It's decent, actually, yeah.
Right,
Soon be over.
Are we giving Hero of the Week to Lidl?
Lidl's Bakery Aisle.
Lidl's Bakery, yeah. Good
Join us
donuts.
next week for for more Hot Bakery chat. We'll wrap it up there, then we'll speak to you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.